we will not allow them because that's needed. Carry on,
Yeah,
Furqan, sorry.
it's okay. No worries. Okay, if there is no question, we will go through the SDLC. Same like SDLC, we have SDLC concepts, guys. SDLC is referred to the term of software testing lifecycle. It is process to use the how we gonna test the software, which kinds of stages will come step by step, which kind of documents we will provide. These stuffs we will be discussing in SDLC. If you consider this slide, I prepare one diagram that show the step-by-step path of the test case or SDLC lifecycle, that how the QA people implement these concepts inside the company. So I will copy this. I guess it's in presentation. Copy it. Where's my misprint? And I will paste it in here. Now, if we consider in first stage, we have test plan. What is test plan? After the product owner or the SDLC lifecycle complete, let me draw that. Whenever the SDLC complete, they have to submit that project to who? To the software tester. These software testers have their own cycle like SDLC. QA people will follow some rules in SDLC. And these rules are, well, starting from where? It will be starting from test plan. Some senior people, like they have 10 to 15 years of experience, they will sit together and prepare a test plan that, okay, we're gonna start our testing from this section, or we're gonna start our testing from this section, like development people do. They pick the story, they start building that point like we did. Developer comes and pick the login, registration, and those pages. Same like that, SDLC people come and grab those user stories that, hey, we're gonna start from this area, we're gonna start from this area, but how we gonna generate that user story? That user story will be in this test plan section or test plan documents that some senior staffs will arrange it for us. After that, they have another phase. It is called testing analysis phase. In this phase, they can analyze that whether these tests that we have written in the document, that those sections must be tested, whether it is correct or not. Is it needed that we have to test it or not? These test analysis will be done on that section itself. After that, we have test design. In test design, what we will do? In test design, they will create some scenarios, they will create some test cases, they will provide some kinds of documents, like they will written down in Excel format, or there's another software, Jira, that we're gonna study it and we're gonna learn it in next week, inshallah. So in test design, they do what? They grab the test cases and provide it to the tester, that, hey, this is your test design. And inside the test design, they have test scenario and they have test case. Don't worry about this. We will be studying this test scenario and test case. In these two parts, they do what? They first give the scenario, like login page is my test scenario. Inside login page, what functionalities you're testing? Like if I'm taking example, let me take example of this login page, this registration page. Suppose my test scenario is that I have to test the sign up page of the Facebook. Now, inside the sign up page of the Facebook, I have some lots of stuff to do, like first name, last name, mobile number, new password. These are all my test cases. So test scenario refers to what? Whole page, like you are assigned to test the Facebook sign up page, but test cases are step-by-step procedure that we are testing the software. What kind of checkbox inside sign up page I have, which forms I need to fill, which parts I don't need to fill. These steps are all come inside what? Inside the test cases. So let's go back there. Now after that, we have construction. Construction means the coding, writing the scripts. Constructions mean writing the scripts for that test case. You grab the scenario, you grab the test case. Now you have to write the code for that, because using automation tools, like Selenium, we have to test our application. It means writing the script. After that, we have test cycles. Test cycles refer to that concept whenever you find a bug inside your software. Suppose I'm checking Facebook sign up page. In Facebook sign up page, I find a bug that this sign up button is not working. So in this case, what QC or quality control, or you are a tester, you're a testing engineer, what are you gonna do? You have to report this to your senior, to your lead. The lead will provide that report to the development team leader. The development team leader do what? They will pass it to that developer which works on that sign up page. I mean to say that he works on a specific functions, that he know that how to deal with that. So he will provide that bug to that developer who developed the sign up page. Now in here, the loop will be created that you will gonna stop right now in here, tell the developer fix the bug, and he will resubmit it. And he will resubmit that part of the project to his leader. After that, development leads will pass it on to the developer QA tester lead. After that, QA testing team leader will provide that section again to that QA engineer or tester, that hey, this part you reported, now it's fine, you can recheck it again. And here a recheck means a loop or a circle were created that you're gonna start your checking again on the application from the starting point. This section is called test cycle, that you're gonna again test it. You know, whenever you click on the login sign up page, if it works, now you're set to go. You will tick mark in front of the test case, which is written inside some sort of documents or software, that this functionality is working fine. After that, we have another stage that is called final testing. Final testing refers to what? Refers to all over checking of the application. Like suppose I develop Facebook login page and sign up page. These both pages I need to recheck again whenever the testers test all of the pages individually. Now it is the duty of the lead that once they have to run the script overall on the application or on the Facebook login and sign up page at once. This final testing is nothing but checking at overall the application at once. Now, after final testing, we have what? We have post-implementation. Post-implementation refers to the concept that, okay, you passes all through all these steps. Now you don't need to worry, you're set and to go and you can deliver this product to the client. Now post-implementation refers to the checking of the client or customer. That customer will come and they will see and they will hand over this piece of the product, means login page and sign up page, to the Facebook company, that this part is made. We check it. Now it is time to, we have to implement it. We have to deploy it in some sort of servers that people can access it, or you are testers, or you want to test it. So I have to deploy it in your server, in your computers. You have to access it and you check it, that whether it's working according to your needs or not. That was all about life cycle of the SDLC. Is there any question? Do we have a question till this point?
I have a question. You did mention that the post-implementation is where you basically deliver everything to the app owner, correct?
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that part? Like, you send the reports of everything you have done, or you just do a demonstration to the app owner? How does that work on that part?
Yeah, dear, you refer to good points. Here is a point. Post-implementation means deploying. Now deploying is the duty of the one another team called DevOps, or we can say it's on the shoulder of the development team. And here, why we bring post-implementation in? Because after these testing, after the SDLC part done, and after the SDLC both parts are done, we have at the end post-implementation that both teams are responsible for the deployment. It means that you're deploying, suppose login and sign up page of the Facebook is now set in my local server or in my local computer right now. Except me, nobody can access it. Deployment or post-implementation means that I am putting it in some, I can say that in some global servers, like every country, everyone, 7 billion people now access it. This is called post-implementation, that we can say. Hope the question is clear. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. What is server? We have a question. What is server? Server is nothing but a supercomputer that at the same time, multiple thousands or billions of people can access it. If I put my application inside my local computer, so it can only serve to 1,000 people. But if my traffic, if my requests of traffics are a lot, or the load are too much high, that at a time, in a same time, same zone, billions of people are accessing my application. So I need to put my software inside what? Inside my server.
So I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure, please.
Yes, sure, please. Is it pretty much the same thing as when you create a website and you need hosting for the
Yeah,
website?
same like
Yeah,
that.
same like that. Okay. Same.
So, I mean, in terms of software development, or let's take it IT, we call server, it's nothing but it's a supercomputer, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Can you come again, Talash?
We said, what is server, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a supercomputer that's storing data.
Definitely right. You
Yeah,
can store
so-
your data, you can access your data, means
Yeah.
it has the ability to serve billions of people according to any aspects.
Mhm. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, let's check. Okay, guys, that was all about the SDLC, software testing lifecycle. Now we'll move ahead. Back to our slides. Okay. Now we have prepared diagram for SDLC that in SDLC we have 3 stages: that test plan, test design, and test execution. It means that brief part of this SDLC we cover in these 3 sections. That first stage will be test plan, Second stage will be test design, and third stage will be test execution. That was all about the final test and post implementation. Okay, what is test plan? We did cover that. We will prepare some sort of documents. What is test design? We're gonna see it in next slide that it has, we divide it to test scenario and test case. We will study it. And we have test execution, that at the end of each means each product, we need to recheck it again over all the application. So in here, we have test scenario. Now, test scenario refers to what? It refers to identifying what is to be tested on the application. Like I can say that I'm developing Instagram page, or I'm developing Amazon web pages that it has variety of pages inside that. So I need to take some main functions. If you remember that in SDLC, we say that in a V model, we had some kind of main functionalities. That main functionalities, like we must develop login page, we must develop a forgotten password, we must develop a create new user account, we must develop a create a page function or a new page. This was all about some main functions that we will be discussing. Now, if you go inside these each main functions, it has some sub functions. These sub functions are nothing but called test case. Test case means writing a step-by-step procedure for describing how you're gonna test that login page. Suppose I'm testing login page. In login page, I need to first, what should I do? I need to open my browser. I need to navigate to URL of the facebook.com. I need to enter a valid username. In first text box, I need to put a valid password. Inside what? Inside my login page, I need to press the login button. So at the end, user should log in successfully. This is my first test case that I can say. Now, if you take an example, let me go to Facebook login page. Here's Facebook login page. How the task will be assigned to you? The task will be assigned in some sort of documents like this, that this is your test case. The first one is login page. This is your test scenario. And inside login page test scenario, you have test case connected. That test case is first step, open the browser. So I already opened my browser. Next step is navigate to Facebook login page. So I navigate to facebook.com login page. Next step is I need to enter a valid username. Okay. Inside a valid username, I need to provide my email or some users that you know that you at the time of creation of your account, you put it. After that, I need to provide my valid password. So I will write my valid password inside that. After that, I need to click on login button. This is my login, but if I click on that login button, and here say the user say message wrong credential, invalid username or password. It says that you don't have any account with this email and password. Now this is called what? This is called my test case, testing phase, or I need to implement that test case. Now I have to report this to who? To developer. I'm taking example. This is not wrong. If you enter some sort of account that it is registered with the Facebook, so you can log in correctly, no worries at all. But if you're facing this errors, this is not an error. This is not bug. Actually, this is another phase of testing that, hey, if you put some kind of invalid username and password, the user must see the error message that we will be testing whenever we start the Selenium. That was all about test scenario and test case. Now I will give you a test case that you have to write the test case for the login page of the Instagram. I will wait for 5 minutes. You need to paste that in the chat box for me. I will check it. The procedure is here. I will put the slide for you guys that you need to write it down. Your test scenario is implementing the Instagram login page. in your test cases that you have to write the step-by-step procedure that you are doing. Yeah, you have 5 minutes, so implement it. Very excellent job, every one of you. Now you saw that how we write the test case, how they implement it, how we should write it, from where we should start it. These stuffs you saw it. Now, keep in mind that you have to learn, you have learned that how you're going to write it down. Whenever the part of implementation comes, the part of that you have to write the code for that, we will cover that part in automation testing. That was all about the manual testing part, and rest of the coding we will be doing in automation testing, like we will be studying Java and Selenium for that. Now, in next slide, we have test execution. Test execution means application, whatever mentioned in our test scenarios, in our test cases, we tested actually like that. Means whatever the expectation of the customer was, we deliver it to the customer so that he passed, he checked, or he signed on the document, acceptance document, that hey, whatever my expectation, it is satisfied, it is completed. So if we refer to the definition part, test execution means that we test the application by the above step that we mentioned. Above steps means that those test cases, those test scenarios, which is provided by who? By seniors or team leaders in the team. That was all about the test execution. Now in here, we have software testing. What is software testing? But before jumping to the software testing, in here, I forget about one note that I have to cover. If you see at the end of the slide, we have test case are written after we see the FRD documents. Do you remember what is FRD document? FRD documents are functional requirement documents. These documents are written down by who? By the development team, by the programmers. According to that, people of a QA or team leader of the QA will grab that document, will analyze that document, and they will write down the test cases and test scenario. If you go back to the part of SDLC lifecycle, you can see that we have test plan. This test plan or test document will be arranged on the basis of the FRD documents or functional requirement document. For that, we will be using some different tools like Jira, Excel, ALM. But most famous for that will be Jira and Excel that people nowadays are using. Okay, now let's move to the next slide. We have definition of what is software testing. It is nothing but process of executing program to find error, to find bug, to perform a specific task on the product that development team delivered to the testing team, that hey, this is the product you need to test and you need to acquire the satisfaction of the customer. Okay, now testing has a principle. These principles are: all the tests should meet the customer requirement. This is the first principle. Second is, to make our software testing should be performed by the third party. What does it mean? That after we tested, we are QA testers. We are doing the testing on the basis of our script. On the we are getting the help of Selenium, Java, and etc. tool that we have. But after that, there must be someone else, or we have to hire some end user. That hey, your end user come and test the software manually and give us the feedback that whether it is according to your need or not. Or we can call the client and told them that we delivered the product. Now it's your duty that you have to first test it for us. This is called the third party testing option. Third one, all the tests to be conducted should be planned before implementing. This is the third principle, that before we plan some test, it should be written down in some format of the documents that we can keep the track of our testings. And last one is start testing with small part and extend it to large parts. It means that if the task is bigger or more complex, you have to break it down in small part and small pieces, and you need to test it. Because if you test the large application at once, you cannot find bugs and errors definitely at all. You have to check each function in each step by step. That was all about the principle of the testing. Till this point, do we have any questions? Any point that it is not clear? No questions. Okay. Now in this slide, we have types of testing. Before jumping to the types of testing, I have prepared some very short videos regarding this test scenario and test cases. Let's watch that. Let me stop my sharing. Just give me a second. Okay, now watch this video.
Consider a test scenario to check login functionality. There are many possible variations to check this scenario. Check response on entering a valid agent name and password. Check response on entering an invalid agent name and password. Check response when the agent name is empty and the login button is pressed, and many more. This is nothing.
I cannot hear anything.
Do you have a guy's voice?
We lost it on the second slide,
Entering
I mean, I
valid
lost
name
it.
and password.
Better.
Is that this test case needs input values, agent name, and password. This is nothing but test data. Identifying test data can be time-consuming and may sometimes require creating test data afresh. For that reason, it needs to be documented. Before we proceed, consider a quote from a witty man. To ensure perfect aim, shoot first and call whatever you hit the target. But if you do not live by this philosophy, which I am sure most of you do not, then your test case must have an expected result. For our test case, the expected result would be login should be successful. If expected results are not documented, we may miss out on small differences in calculations and results, which otherwise look okay. Consider this example, where you are calculating monthly pay for an employee, which involves lots of calculations. The need for documenting expected results becomes obvious. Suppose the author of the test case has left the organization, is on vacation, is sick and off duty, or is just very busy with other critical tasks, and you are recently hired and have been asked to execute the test case. Since you are new, it would certainly help to have test steps documented, which in this case would be launch the application, enter an agent name, enter a password, and click OK. You may think that for these simple test steps, documentation is not required, but what if your test steps look something like this? I think the need will become immediately obvious. That apart, your test case may have fields like a precondition, which specifies things which must be in place before the test can run. For our test case, a precondition would be flight reservation application should be installed. Also, your test case may include a post condition, which specifies anything that applies after the test case completes. For our test case, a post condition would be time and date of login is stored in the database. During test case execution, you will document the results observed in the actual results column and may even attach some screenshots. Based on comparison of actual and expected results, assign pass and fail status. This entire table may be created in Word, Excel, or any other test management tool. That's all to test case design. Below, you will find links to download a sample test case specification template.
It was all about the test case, guys. Let's watch one another video.
Just in case, use the test case to guarantee everything works as it should. A test case is a set of actions, usually written by the quality assurance or testing team, fed into a software system to determine if the software is working correctly and meets all requirements. Testing begins whenever developers finish a system feature or set of features. Test cases, which define how to test the system, are vital because they expose any errors or defects. Effective test case benefits include reduced maintenance costs, improved software quality, confirmation the software meets business requirements, more satisfied customers, and ultimately increased company profits. Before testing, QA teams must first determine what exactly they need to test and then choose a test design. Click the link above or in the description below to read about effective test case design techniques. An ideal test case design is accurate, economical, traceable, repeatable, and reusable. And there's different test cases for different purposes. Types of test cases include functionality test cases, which reveal if an app interface works with the rest of the system, performance test cases, which confirm the overall effectiveness of the system, unit test cases, which analyze the smallest testable elements of software, and security test cases, which ensure the system restricts actions and permissions when necessary to protect data, to name a few. What benefits have you reaped from using test cases? Share your thoughts in the comments and be sure to hit that like button.
Now let's watch another video on that test scenario.
A test scenario is any functionality of the application under test that can be tested. It is also called test condition or test possibility. For the flight reservation application, a few scenarios would be: check the login functionality, check that a new order can be created, check that an existing order can be opened, check that a user can fax an order, check that the information displayed in the help section is correct, check that the information displayed in about section, like version, programmer name, copyright information is correct. Apart from these 6 scenarios, try and list all the other possible scenarios for the application. Pause the tutorial and complete the exercise. I am sure you have identified many a more like update order, delete order, check reports, check graphs, and so on. For the time being, let's stick to these 6. Next, we have already learned that exhaustive testing is not possible. Suppose you have time to execute only 4 out of these 6 scenarios. Which 2 low priority scenarios of these 6 will you eliminate? Think, your time starts now. I am sure most of you would have guessed scenarios 5 and 6, since they are not the core functionality of the application. This is nothing but test prioritization.
That was all about the test scenario and test cases, guys. So hope you enjoyed the video in today's lecture. So I will pass an assignment regarding to test case and test scenario. I will provide that you need to check the login functionality and sign up functionality of some specific pages that I will be providing in a few minutes. So do we have any questions? Any point which is confusing? I'll stop the recording.